Dystopia tonight. Dystopia tonight.
Right out of the chute, you made a mistake.
What did I say?
You see the logo?
What did
Julia
I?
Scotti, funny that way. It's the whole title.
Oh,
That's number one. Number two, Captain Kangaroo was not a Nazi. He was a war hero. He was at Iwo Jima. He was at Iwo Jima for crying out loud.
What kid show host was a Nazi who turned out to be? Do you remember?
A Nazi.
It was one of the old ones. I
don't remember.
Oh man,
I was Uncle Adolf. Wasn't that the show Uncle Adolf?
He had a public access show.
Girls, welcome to Uncle Adolf show. I see Bobby. I see Jaime. Jaime, how did he get on this show? Get rid of him. I'm sorry.
And that's when the color bars popped up on the. He comes back covered in blood and there's gas floating in the room.
Yeah.
Like, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back, Uncle Adolf. It's good. Fun with Uncle Adolf. Oh shit!
His lead-in was Uncle Floyd, so I think it'll.
Hey, I'm working with Uncle Floyd soon.
Oh, when? I love Uncle Floyd. He's the best.
I don't remember. I think
is that a double headliner show? Because it should be.
Yes, it's Uncle Floyd and me. We did this once before. Mm-hmm. We double teamed.
That's a great. Hey, look at you,
Uncle Floyd, as you've never seen him before. Double teaming right on the piano. Ooh la la!
I can't believe.
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh,
wait a minute. Oh, Floyd, I love your hat. The little. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad I kept you up past your bedtime because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten any of this.
Did you tell him what you did? He tells me 8:30. Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
You sent me the Central Time start time.
Did I? Maybe.
Yeah, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. So I'm thinking 8:30. I got it on my. Look, it's right on my clock, right?
I know.
And alarm goes off. I'm sitting here like a dummy.
Yeah.
And I call him. I go, "What's the story?" He goes, 9:30. 9:30. Thanks for telling me.
That's the second. It's so funny though because it's on the flyer that you share. I just have to realize that when people share stuff, they don't look at it.
You mean on the flyer, like the name of my movie is Julia Scotti? Funny that way, not just funny that way.
I figured because I was introducing your name, if I said it twice, it would be weird, and then funny that way they would fill in the blank.
No,
I can't say now. Welcome, Julia. Julia Scotti's funny that way.
Just type in "funny that way." You'll get a picture of Matt Gaetz. He's funny that way, if you know what I mean.
That's his gamer tag when he plays with the teens online.
Funny that way.
Mario Kart. Oh, right. This is great. I love this. Shot out of a cannon. Right off the top. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get me going. Go ahead, Johnny. How are you? Hey, Johnny.
What's going on, Julia?
That's a great name, though. That's a 1940s name. Like if Johnny, come on, Johnny. You know you want to play the violin. What do you want to box for?
You look like you're trying out for Gangs of New York with that hat on.
He'd be like, "Oh, Ma, I don't want to play the fucking violin. I just want to box. I want to kill people." All right.
Oh my God, that's great. I love wearing this hat. I just steer clear of theaters. That's my only rule. I'm like, we'll go anywhere.
Balcony. Yeah. Steer clear of Ford's Theater. That's all. Just don't go there.
Oh my God. You know how many times I've watched
girlfriend. I'm sorry.
I watched that movie Lincoln. I love that movie, the Spielberg one with whatever. But I legitimately I know what's going to happen at the end every fucking time, and it still breaks my heart.
That guy is the male Meryl Streep. I forgot his name.
Yes.
In fact, they may be Meryl Streep, that guy.
It's Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis, right. Jerry Lee. Was the
right.
Great balls of fire! I got a bullet in my head. Oh no, that was.
No, I was gonna say who sang "Ferry Across the Mersey," I believe,
He
right?
Is that what? That's right. How come I don't have a goddamn show, Poveromo?
I don't know.
I'm firing out gold here.
You are. You should. You know why you don't have one? Is because you go to bed at 8:30 normally, and then so this is, you know, you can have a. You have a show. You have a show with Carol, don't you? Don't you still have that?
No, we're on what you call hiatus.
Oh, all right. Well, you know, you'll get it back, I'm sure.
I know. Thanks for putting the logo in there. I appreciate that for the movie.
Yeah, no, I love the cover, by the way. That's a beautiful cover. I love the background of it. We were just having this huge discussion about graphic design because I hosted a charity for the High School of Art and Design, and
that's right. You're an artist.
Yeah, and I just love other people's like their work and stuff, and I think that's dynamic. It really gets everybody's attention.
It got mine when she first saw it. I was like, when she sent it to me, I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then after a while, no matter what you put it up against, it jumps out at you. It doesn't just jump out at you. It jumps out and begins to beat you about the face and body.
Which is what I've always wanted in a documentary.
Yeah.
I feel like documentaries weren't violent enough towards their audience.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So.
I met I got to hang out with you. One of my favorite times hanging out with you was when I got to come and see you do Carol show, Women of a Certain Age, when you did the Showtime
thing. You can't get that right either. More funny women of a certain age.
More funny women of a certain age. But
you know what? If it was more funny women of a certain age starring John Poveromo, you would get the goddamn title right.
So, wait a minute. Can I tell you that I'm on the IMDb page?
That's right. You are. I know.
And it comes up. I screenshot this, and I don't know if I sent it to you. Maybe I didn't or not. It fucking kills me every time I see it because I didn't. Whoever put it on there, because I'm mentioned in the credits. That's it. I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, it's like on. I guess because it's done so well, or it's been on Showtime, so it's a prominent one. So it goes. My credits goes Gotham Live, VH1. Funny, more women and more funny women of a certain age. I'm just like,
what do they list you as? What do they have you as?
I don't know if it was like an honorable mention, like a thank you or material or whatever.
Carol loves you.
Credit only.
She loves you. She loves you.
Yeah, and she's one of the best too. I mean, she's absolutely like comedy mom. Like she's emailed me. She always goes, I know you're really busy, but if you could just do this, and I'm like, nope, and I just do it. Get it done because you know she's the best. She's awesome. But yeah, I got to hang out with you afterward, and I got to meet Susan, and I got to meet the crew for the documentary, and they loved. Speaking of love, they love you. Like it was nice sitting at that table. How far into the documentary were they at that point?
That we were getting close to finishing principal filming at that point. That's what.
Okay, wow.
Because we shot that in October of 2019, I think. 2019. Okay. So she had just about finished filming.
Wow. And so did they come to you with this idea and you were just like, yeah, who wouldn't want their documentary made about them? Or was this something you were hoping, to come to fruition at some point?
No, here's what. Oh, that's better, isn't it? That's a lot better.
Yeah, you want to go back and do it all over again? Do the Hitler thing.
I'm good.
Take it from the top.
I'm going to disappear now. Oh,
where's Julia?
Oh, boys and girls.
Oh no.
All right. So here's how it happened. All right, now the screen has to get wavy. A long time. No, about 6 years ago, I had just come back into comedy. Mm-hmm. And I was working up with Joanne.
Oh, nice.
Joanne and we were both up in Philo, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Well, they don't know that, of course. You say, of course, like everybody
There's other
knows
people that listen.
Yeah.
But what did I just say in the other podcast about the audience? I don't care about the audience. No, I do.
Oh, I care. I love Joanne.
I love Joanne too. I always forget about the audience.
I know. And anyway, so all right, enough about you. Can I talk about my experience? You invite me on a show. You give me the wrong time. You don't remember the name of the movie. Let me at least tell this story.
Yes, go ahead. My apologies. Let's go for it.
So, where was I? Oh, yes. So, Jane Condon, you know Jane, right?
Yes, of course.
You know Jane. Yeah, okay. Have you had her on this show?
I haven't yet, but I was
have
told to
her
get
on.
her on. I'd love to.
You should. Anyway, she has this gig up in Nantucket, and I've always wanted to go to Nantucket because, and it was a 5-hour drive up with Joanne, and I nothing but dirty Nantucket lyrics, limericks all the way up. But we went and we did the show, and it was a lot of fun, and it's beautiful. If you've never been to Nantucket, you should go there. And
I would love to.
It is gorgeous. At the end of the show, let me take a moment about Nantucket. You have to take a ferry from Hyannis to get to Nantucket. And when you pull into the ferry, it's like the opening of Jaws, Memorial Day weekend where all the cars are coming up. It's exactly like that. Anyway, back to how the movie got started. So at the end of the movie, Jane Condon said to me, "There's a friend of mine here would like to meet you, and it's Susan Sandler." And I didn't know who she was. And I went over and I was doing meet and greet, and I said, "Hi, Susan Sandler, nice to meet you." And we went out we all went out for drinks afterwards. And Susan sat next to me, and we were talking about the possibility of me maybe doing a one-woman show at that point. And I knew it was never going to come to fruition because I talk out my ass half the time. Yeah, I'm doing a one-woman show. Really, how far along are you? Well, I'm just sketching out the idea now. It's gonna be a couple of years before it's ready to go.
Yep.
Anyway, so she she offered to help me because she's a big muckety muck. She wrote the movie Crossing Delancey. So
yes.
And she's a professor of writing at the NYU Tisch. And here I am, a lowly comedian working, Joey's Chuckle Hut in Lodi, New Jersey. What do I know about writing? So, she started to probe. She was asking probing questions. She said, Johnny, like you should do when you interview people.
All right. Roll up the sleeves.
Instead of these fucking softballs you're throwing me here.
We're gonna get into it. Don't worry. This is just we're only like 3 minutes in.
Is that right? Oh my god, it seems much longer. Either I'm hot flashing or I'm gonna have a stroke. One or the other. I'm not sure. And this is, the top's not coming off. But boy, if I could, it would. It's friggin' hot in here.
I understand. We were just talking about going topless in the other show before this one.
Jesus. All right. So
do it for the ratings.
So she says to me, she starts asking probing questions about my life. And apparently, either I've led an interesting life or she's led a very sheltered life. But, a couple of months later, she said, "What do you think about doing a documentary?" "No, I'm in show business. I'm in comedy. People say stuff like that to you all the time. How'd you like to be your own series? You get that a lot, Right. And who are you? Well, right now I'm just a beer distributor, but I'm planning on, I have a cousin out in California who's the makeup person for Monty Woolley, and I can get in."
Right.
And so that's never going to happen. Empty promises, And then I started to research her and found out, Crossing Delancey, professor. And next thing I know, she said, we get it on paper, and there's a film crew. I'm in my underwear, and there's a film crew shows up at my door. We're here to do a documentary, and the rest is rock and roll. 5 years later, 6 years later, almost. Yeah.
Was it you like you said, you're a comedian. We're both comics. When people approach you for that kind of stuff, were you intimidated by it or ambivalent by it? In the terms of hey, if this happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Or did you actually feel like, hey, this could really be a thing?
Well, we were a little bit in when I realized it could actually happen. There's, when you see a guy with a boom and a guy with, they're coming in with things on wheels and they're setting up lights and, and you go, oh, it's a movie. I get it. It's not somebody with a phone, just going, it's my documentary,
Yeah.
So, I knew she was serious. I knew she was dead serious about it. And I didn't get to see even a rough cut up until, I think, maybe last year was the first time I saw a rough cut of it.
Okay.
There were several iterations of it, but she's very secretive about it, and she she wanted to show me the complete thing. And I got to say, she did a terrific job.
It looks like, I think we have the trailer. Can we play the trailer?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's play it.
Wait, this isn't the one where I used to be a guy, is it? That you're not showing that? No, I'm just kidding.
I swear to God, I had a mini heart attack just now, where I was like, "Is it?"
Whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you're human. And you're funny.
Thank you.
And you're brave.
All right, well, at least now they know I'm not full of crap.
Have you always wanted to be a comedian?
Yeah, as the result of a severe blow to the head.
I was traveling all over the country. I was a headliner, living the dream. But something was gnawing at me. I thought maybe I was gay. I reached this point where I couldn't avoid my truth anymore.
So in case you didn't know it, I should tell you that I'm transgender.
That's not normal. Then the other side of me was going, that's normal for you. I married really, really young. It was doomed from the start. I was the dad, and I wanted to be the mom.
To me, it was an awful betrayal. Her kids immediately wanted no part of her.
I was devastated.
I made the decision to prioritize fitting in over my family.
I still feel like a lot of guilt around the whole thing, so... I tell people my dad's coming, and then an old woman walks into the room, and I'm like, hello, father, and it's very confusing.
You know, dear, I've had a good life. You take my seat on the lifeboat.
Obviously, sweetie, it's a yes.
The fact that you were here to see this amplified it like 1,000%.
You were like always this like sad sack, and I hate life. Now I think you're so much more fulfilled and so much more joyful.
I really gotta go. You gotta be happy. It's about quality of life.
I love that. Like, see, just that trailer alone was so beautiful.
That was the entire movie, John.
Well,
thanks for blowing it for everybody.
It moved me.
No, she that was put together by a company. I don't remember the company's name, but that was a real expensive thing to get done. Apparently, I learned so much about movie making from this project that I. Just peripherally, just from talking to her and seeing what she had to go through,
right?
From raising the money to do it. With documentary, you don't have funding; you have to keep going out and looking for grants and things like that. So.
And how much of a relief is it though when you find, because like after meeting her and the the other guys that were on the crew and stuff, like. As a comic, how much of a relief is it to find out that that person only wants to do that thing and has no interest in being funny themselves? You know what I mean? Like every time we meet somebody, I feel like, especially when we're starting out and they're like, I'm a filmmaker. And then you're like, cool. And then you start a project with them and they're like, can you give me 5 minutes on? And you're just like, fuck me. No, I can't. Like, can't you just stay in your fucking lane?
I didn't think that with her at all. She had no. I never got that vibe at all from her.
That's what I'm saying. It must have been a relief. Even when,
well, it was funny you even brought that up because I would never even have been that suspicious of her.
Oh wow,
she's an extremely genuine person. She's just I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust, especially you, John. You'd stab me in the back. While I'm looking at you. Anyway,
I would never. Oh,
but she really, before we even, a camera came out, she said to me, "Look," she goes, "I will treat you with the dignity and respect that you deserve, and if there's ever anything that you feel uncomfortable with, that you tell me." Like there were some things, and I won't tell you now, but they. There were some things, and she true to her word. She said, "Okay, that's coming out." And I said, "Okay, thank you. That's all I asked." Right. And it wasn't a lot. It was like 1 or 2 things.
Did you have a hard? Was it kind of difficult to go back through those materials and stuff like that? Like, how long had it been since you would look back at those tapes? And
some of them I didn't even know existed. She found stuff. I had videotapes of my kids when they were little, and apparently I used audition tapes because none of the agents were looking at my stuff anyway back then. So I had I had this stack of videos. You're too young to remember that, Johnny, but
no.
Johnny, back in the day, right after talkies came into existence. But we used to have to send VHS tapes out to
Tell
agents.
me more about when it used to snow, Julia.
Oh, it used to snow. We'd have to wrap the videotape around us to keep us from freezing to death. We'd throw them in the stove and burn them sometimes, and still the agents wouldn't look at us. And I went up to them in the cold one night at the end of a concert at Carnegie Hall. I stood outside and I said, "Flo Ziegfeld, someday you're going to hear from me." And then he died. Anyhow.
That's a great way to end the story. I'm sorry, keep going. You found the tapes.
So that was it. She just, I had to. It was a great leap of faith. I had to believe that she was going to be true to her word because I wouldn't have had any recourse. I had signed an agreement, and she had full license to do whatever she wanted to do at that point. And she's an honorable human being, and I am very blessed to have worked with her on it, just as I was with Carol.
And
I've known Carol forever, but the story with Carol, right? What happened with me the first time?
I do. Yeah, you were really well. You can tell the audience. You got really sick.
There was, there were two funny women of a certain age. The first one was called Funny Women of a Certain Age, and the second one that I was in was More Funny Women of a Certain Age. Well, I was scheduled for the first one, and I was all excited because it was, the first TV spot I had coming back since AGT. So it was kind of a big deal. And about, I guess a month before we were going to tape, in December of 2018, I needed emergency open heart surgery, quadruple bypass surgery.
Wow.
With a pig valve put in. I say that because it means I can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery now. and another valve. I mean, I almost died, basically. It's what happened. So about 3 weeks after, I told the surgeon, I said, "Listen, this is a comic, right? I'm in the hospital." And he goes, "We're going to have to crack your chest open." I'm going, "Okay, but I got this. I'm taping this show in January. Am I going to be ready?"
Right.
And now surgery's done. He comes into my room. Now I got an 8-inch scar going down I had just got a tube pulled out of my throat, right? To breathe. I'm still out of it, and I go, "Am I going to be able to do the show, the taping?" He goes, "I don't." He goes, "I don't know, maybe." So Carol says, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm going to be there." I needed help getting to the bathroom, much less, standing on stage for 20 minutes. So it came like a week before, and it was clear I couldn't do it. And so she said, "All right, well, look, if there is a second one, I don't know if there's going, because at that time she didn't know. If there is a second one, you're going to be the first person I call." And she did. She called me, I think, March of that year. And that's a kind of a human being, you want to work with. That's why I say when I've been blessed with Susan, with Carol, with Tom and Genya, with Kathy Caldwell. I've just been so blessed. I feel like Forrest Gump of comedy. Like I didn't do anything, but all this shit keeps happening to me.
Right.
So I'm really, it's wonderful. I'm very, very blessed.
Yeah, and you're a really good person though too, and you're a very kind person, and that attracts other good, kind people to you. So that that when I first met you, I didn't
like you, John. I didn't like you at all, Johnny.
There was, what it was? It was a sexual tension, is what it was. I think if you think back,
I would have loved to have sat naked on your head with the hair, that head of hair of yours, and just sort of rubbed it against there. Yeah.
I still feel it. I still feel it between you.
You know
two.
what? It's been a
Palpable.
long. It's been it's been a long fucking pandemic. I say go for it. I'm fully vaxxed. I'm licking and fucking everything. I don't give a shit.
Well, what kind of product are you using? That's all. You know.
You know what it is?
Me.
I think it's all natural, baby.
Really?
I think this is yeah. This is what it is right now.
Man, what I would do.
To be fair, I love that you made a Forrest Gump reference because I do look like the dude who gave Jenny AIDS in Forrest Gump. You know what I mean?
You do. You kind of do. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
If I have that green jacket on.
Yes.
Yeah, but that is like we where the hell were we? I can't remember. Some comedy club in is Wisecrackers? I think it was Wisecrackers. Right?
Well, we went to Virginia together, didn't we?
We did. Where the hell was that club?
That was somewhere in West. I remember we crossed into West Virginia for like a cup of coffee minute. We were, and immediately as soon as we crossed the state line, we started like talking like, "Oh, how you doing?" You know, we were doing stupid West Virginia accents. So.
Yes, yeah, and I'm sure at some point I blasted John Denver because that's what I do.
Yeah, I love.
Me too.
It was you, me, and I forget who the third act was.
Me too. It probably didn't matter because we love each other.
No,
anyway, so, yeah,
didn't matter at all. No.
No, who would care? But there was that was great too. And we also the other night too, we were hanging out in a diner. We bonded over music too. That's another thing I love about you. You've got you love music. And so do I, but like we just talked like old school music, and I think, God, who the hell? Hey, kids! Hey, Scott Curtis is here.
Scott Curtis.
Yeah, it was. Can't remember who it was, but I started playing. Was it? Oh my God, this is gonna drive me crazy. But you were like, this guy's you ruined the song for me. An older song. And you were like, this guy is you're like, this guy, like I put it on for 2 seconds and you were like, this guy's a right wing fucking nut job now. And I was like, and we were in the diner, by the way. I had my iPhone out. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, we're just going through this list of music. And I was like, hey, what about this song? And
you were like, trying to make you cry, Johnny.
That was so great. Oh my God.
I don't remember who that was though. I do remember the night, but I don't remember who we were talking about.
Me neither, but it was fucking hysterical because we were just sitting around and it went from like, hey, this is a great song, hey, this is a great song, to the fucking I'm like, holy shit. Oh my God. I don't know too much about when you first started comedy. I know I'll see it. I know it when the documentary actually comes out and I can check it out, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What you started in the 80s, right?
Started May 31st, 1980. In
shit.
Paramus, New Jersey.
You were around for the boom.
I got in right before the boom. I got, it's as if somebody came I've told you, Forrest Gump of comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I got in 1980. There was a Chinese restaurant. They were bringing comedy to Jersey. Not the Chinese people. There was a booker that was doing a guy named Hal Lennis. But they came from the Wuhan Comedy Club. That's where they came from.
I was just gonna say, I was like, please, that's so much more of an interesting story if the Chinese brought comedy to Jersey.
They had nothing to do with it. This guy named Hal Lennis he saw the value of bringing professional shows from New York to the burbs. Nobody had ever seen live comedy before. This guy was before anybody. And so in order to get an audience for this show, he had local talent. So he had auditions for people who were aspiring comics, an open mic. So I put 3 minutes together and I went up and I actually passed auditions and I started working there. And within, I guess maybe 6 or 7 months, I had gone to New York and I parked myself outside the Improvisation on 44th and 9th.
Nice.
At 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday I had the Sunday Daily News. And I just sat there all day waiting for Bud Friedman to show up.
Wow.
And give out numbers for the show that night. And he gave out, I think, like 20 numbers. That was the system in the old days. You waited for a number.
I like that system because when I started, that was all gone. And everything, I was such a comedy nerd when I was in high school and everything. But all the stuff that I had read about, because all the comedy books there were no modern comedy books. I think we just had Mike Rowe on, who wrote one that was.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Mike and I were in the same comedy class at that, back then.
Were you really? Oh, that's so fucking
Mike
cool.
was an improv act, and we used to talk about how much we both loved Dick Van Dyke, and all Mike ever wanted to do was write for the Alan Brady show.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be a TV writer, which is what he became.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's so great, man. Like his book, I don't know if you've seen it or read it yet.
I've seen it. I haven't read it though. No.
Okay. It's good because as somebody, I read a lot of those books, when I was younger, but they were from the 70s and 80s about comedy. They followed around Richard Lewis, and then, Franklin Ajoux had one. There was Comic Insights, and it interviewed Bill Maher and Ellen DeGeneres, all the modern ones, but nothing like, from 2000 up. You know what I mean? Like, nothing else.
Yeah, well, I don't want to read anything by somebody who's that much more successful than I am. I just, I don't know. Who needs that?
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I read all that stuff, but all the Boom stuff was gone. All the ticket stuff, like it was all bringer shows when I started, and it bummed me the fuck out because I wanted to wait.
Starting when I left New York, it was just starting, and I could see that coming. And I was like, boy, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Right. Yeah, were you opposed?
When we worked the clubs, if you had a home club, like when I was the improv, you developed. You were given a chance to develop. You got on late, and you worked your way up, but then you also got to work with seasoned professionals who could teach you things, who you could talk to, whose brains you could pick,
right?
And say, why isn't this working? And they could help you. It was a whole different bag back then.
Yeah.
I think for the better. I feel bad for kids today starting out. I don't think I could do it.
It seems to only be getting somewhat worse, but with the delusion and the promise of, hey man, you got phones and cameras on you. You could make anything happen, but the pressure to make when something actually doesn't happen, you just feel like it's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's the thing too. If they're learning from their peers how to do comedy or they're learning bad habits.
Yeah,
they're not learning. Like I learned from people who were like Seinfeld and people like that who were the next class above me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was and Uncle Dirty. I don't know if you know Uncle Dirty.
Yeah, I know Uncle Dirty. Yeah.
Okay, Dirty was a big influence on me.
We're talking about a lot of uncles on this show tonight, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Oh, is that right? Who? Uncle Floyd. Yeah,
Uncle Floyd.
Anything, but
Uncle Adolf. Now Uncle Dirty. Just throwing out uncles' names, man.
Well, anyway, Uncle Dirty was but there was those people, and so I learned my craft, and I got better, and I emceed a bunch of shows. For years, and then I featured, and I made up my mind I was going to work my way up to headlining, and it took me a while. It took me years.
Do you think there's truth in that? Wally, when I was starting out, Wally Collins, Wally Collins?
Yeah.
He had said to a bunch of us youngins that were hanging out in the club at one point after the club owner had pieced out because he was like hanging around or whatever, and Wally was just like, somebody had asked him when you become a headliner, and he said, in this business, 9 times out of 10, you decide when you're going to headline.
Yes.
So do you feel the same way?
I was getting, I was getting annoyed with featuring for people that I was blowing off the stage.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, well, this is, I think I'm ready to headline in most situations.
Right.
I was, and so it's a scary thing. Because first of all, I lost work. People that wouldn't hire me as a headliner, they still thought of me as a feature, and that's the problem. They will always want to keep you as a feature.
Yeah.
If you don't assert yourself.
Absolutely.
Always. They're getting a great act for cheap money.
Yep.
So
that happened to me at. Did you remember when City Steam was around? Did you ever do that room?
Yeah, I did it once. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy there, and this is before I was headlining and while I was just becoming a middle at other clubs, but I was an MC there still. And I was like, I'd like to middle. Like this has been, I'm middling everywhere else, I'd like to be a middle or whatever. And he wound up, he's like, I don't have a good MC or a 3-person show. I'm not moving you up. And then I was like, well, then I'm not coming back. Like I don't know what else to do, but I never wound up going back, and he never booked me again.
I can't tell you how many clubs that happened to me with, and you have to be willing to walk away.
Yes.
You have to have made that commitment internally even before you approach the booker. Because if you waver, if you hesitate, you're dead.
Do you have any? And I know everybody's got different personalities about this kind of stuff. Do you have any feeling of?
I have no feeling, Johnny. None whatsoever.
Because I was going to bring up you sitting on the hair again.
Okay.
I was going to throw it out there tonight, and then you said you had no feeling. So, no, but like, do you have any feeling of like fuck that, like I'm not going back there no matter what? Like as big, like you are now headlining. You did your Showtime special. You have the documentary coming out.
But there's still places that won't book me.
I believe you. No, I understand that too. Yeah. But do you feel like if they suddenly turned around and were like, "Hey, we want you at the club," would you say go fuck yourself, or would you go work there?
Well, if the money was right, I would. That's the biggest. That's the best revenge.
It is, isn't it? I'm so torn between that. Yeah, I am torn between that because I hate when
asking for 3 times your normal price.
Oh yeah. That's
and getting
sweet.
It.
Yeah, I hate when they think you're their friend.
I mean, there are club owners I am their friend, but you know what? That's the advantage of having Tom as a manager, because he's been around forever. He knows the business. He's a really nice man. And I'll tell you something: you will get a better mother hen for his acts. This guy protects his acts.
Yeah,
he's the most. I've had a lot of people try to manage me, and they all suck, and they were all not real particularly honest. Tom is the most honest person I've ever met in show business. He's just a beautiful individual. I can't say enough about him.
Yeah, he was. I haven't had too many conversations with him, but when we walked back. When we walked to your car and then walked back, and if I was any good at this show, I would have had a picture of that. Because
I was going to say, do you have that? I have that picture somewhere. I wish you'd have reminded me.
I do. It's there. It's on your Facebook page or mine. But it's a beautiful picture. But yeah, we walked back, man. We had a great conversation. He's a cool, chill dude, and that's I think the last time I spoke to him, and maybe the first, probably.
And you'll probably never speak to him again.
You're like, not if I have anything to say about it.
I said, if that hairy bastard calls you, just blow him right off I'm not in. That's what you say. I'm not in.
You know what's funny though? He did say, he was like, I love the cartoons you did for Julia, and then he literally pitched me drawing his dead bandmates. And he's like, I've got music. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, you're going to break out in a song?
Thrills. That was his band name, Thrills.
Thrills, yeah.
So I know.
And he goes, but I got a problem. We want to put out the music. And he goes, but all the other band members are dead. And I was like, does he think I'm a necromancer because of the beard? I was like, whoa.
Well, we're going to dig them up and you can draw them without, boy, you don't look so good being dead.
So I was like, yeah, he wanted me to animate the thing or whatever. But it was funny.
He took this COVID thing really hard. He really
did. He,
for us, he really. I mean, we would talk sometimes, and I'm not talking about it at school here, but he took it hard. He felt bad for us all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was terrible. Did you feel like you were trapped from the whole thing? Because I know you basically stopped everything kind of short, or did you try to soak it in? Because I feel like in the beginning I was like, oh, we got a few months off. It's not
it was the 5 stages of grief, And I thought we all thought the same thing. It'll be over maybe 4 or 5 months. It'll be like a forced vacation,
Yeah.
And then it just kept going on, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So once I had realized, I was doing DoorDash. I was delivering chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't. I had a problem, with unemployment, so I had to do something. I blew through my savings.
Oh my God!
Because you got life goes on, right?
Yeah.
And so I did DoorDash for a little while, and I wrote a play. My first play. I did that. So I tried to keep busy, and I'm writing. I've been writing material for the past year during this whole thing, but it was all little bits of material. So now I'm putting it all together for the next album.
Did you enjoy the Zoom stuff? I mean, I know there's a mixed view on it. We did the charity. I hated it. I know I did the Zoom, but we did the charity thing. That was kind of fun.
What charity thing?
Fair enough, Julia.
We did a charity. Oh, that thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Well, you got to understand, man. Awesome. I've been doing like 3 interviews a day for the last 2 weeks.
No, I hear you.
I'm fried. You know, I don't even know who you are. Who's this guy? He's in the other box. He hasn't said a word.
Tom's autobiography is going to be called Life in the Other Box. And it's about his other family he's got. Then he's going to have one about doing this. No, I'm just kidding.
What's he looking up in the air all the time for, though? He's
got a whole weather station.
Because I'm searching for this picture on your Facebooks to pull up for you guys.
All right.
Oh, that's very sweet. See, he's doing background shit.
He's a good producer.
He is, absolutely. Yeah, it was. I feel like it's almost like, you know, horrible to talk about having an okay. Not that I had an okay time during it. It drove me crazy, but really, in the beginning, I was very much like, "Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna go biking and I'm gonna enjoy being outside for a little bit and, you know, catching up with people and talking or whatever." And then by like month 6, I had a bag packed that I was just gonna just in case. I was like, "Does anybody want me to drive by?"
Get me. Yeah, no. It was. I mean, I live alone and I like it, and I'm kind of a recluse. We've talked about you and I have talked about this, so that part of it didn't bother me at all.
Sure,
I had a perfect excuse to tell people, "No, I'm not coming over."
Yes, I know.
Your kid's bar mitzvah, I'm not coming at all.
Yeah,
but you do miss the diner. I did miss my comedy friends. I missed hanging out, you know, after a show. Those things I did miss a lot.
Yep. Yeah, that was the thing that I didn't know I even missed until we wound up doing that charity event and then just seeing everybody.
What charity event was that?
I love that.
He just keeps walking into it, doesn't he?
Beautiful. Yeah, but that stuff I missed. I'm doing my first show back on this Wednesday. I'm going back into New York to do Greenwich Village.
I did Broadway there last week, and that was fun.
Was it?
And it was good. It was good. This past Saturday, I did my first like real 45-minute set in front of like 200 people. And it was
right.
Oh my God! It's better than sex. I don't care what anybody said. I've had sex and I've had standing O's. I've had standing O's during sex, but this is. I can't tell you how much I love this. This is why I can't be married again. My marriages don't last because I'm married to comedy.
Yeah,
you know, it's my life. I can't do anything else.
We were just talking about in the other cast or whatever. We were talking about dating and relationships and stuff, and they were grilling me about staying single and I don't want kids and I don't think I'm going to get married. I don't have any intention of it. And I used to think like that when I did everything backwards. Like when I was in high school, I was like, I thought I was going to get married. You know, whenever I dated somebody, I was like, this is it.
I know. I met a female bagpipe player in California outside the hotel where we were staying for AGT. A female bagpipe player from Spain.
Wow.
Ask Kathy Koloff. She'll tell you. I fell in love with her. She was traveling with Yo-Yo Ma. Like she's gonna leave. Yo-Yo Ma. She's 20 years younger than me. For a fat old, transgender fat who's sitting outside of a hotel smoking cigarettes after cigarette after cigarette,
talking to Jesus at Wawa's,
and but I fall in love too easily. There's a song
I used to be like that too. Because you know what the thing is though, it's fucking fun. I can't imagine not being, you know what I mean? It seems odd. I'm amazed when people, I mean, I get it, I guess. I don't know if I actually get it, but the monogamy thing, and then like, here's the thing though. I can't even pretend. I think people are fucking lying. I think they are. I think like 90% are miserable and there's 10% that are happy. And if
you did an actual legitimate survey, there's probably about 3 or 4% of the people who are married forever are happy with the person. I mean, I see old people and they're holding hands and they've been together 50 something years, and I go, that is this. I have so much admiration for these people.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and I give them. Man, and I like the people who die within like 2 days of each other.
Me too.
That's the that is the coolest. So come on, you got to be kidding. That is great. Oh, she's dead. Oh, I'm dying too, and then they're gone. They're gone. Like, what a story.
Yeah.
You know, I die in my house. The only way they're gonna find me is the cat's gonna be eating my body. You know, I won't even have eyeballs by the time they find me.
Yeah. I have a joke about my grandparents in my act, saying that when one of them died, you know, normally when people are super in love, they were always in love or whatever, and you know, one of them passed away, and the other one went like 3 weeks later, and I thought that was odd, and then I realized my grandfather was like, "Give me 5 fucking minutes to myself, just 5. That's all I'm asking, just 5 fucking minutes." Because it's true, but it is like I feel like that too. I was at the gym, not to brag, and I saw
I noticed.
An elderly, thank you, I'm trying, an elderly couple, and they were helping each other work out, and I was like, a part of me was like, that's adorable, and the other part of me was like, that looks fucking exhausting. Like, but you know, I'm glad it's like, I feel like it's probably just not for me at this point, and
that's the thing. You know, when I came up, that was what you did, and being transgender, that was also that need to be normal, to be in that, you know, white picket fence kind of relationship, and it's an impossible standard to live up to. You can't, nobody can.
Right.
But my problems weren't being solved by getting married, but I kept doing it because in the short run it felt good.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
yeah, because there's a societal kind of there's a societal acceptance of it, but you also, it's almost like you level up in a video game kind of sense where you get a different kind of respect. People let mistakes go by. Like when I've noticed that you can be the world's biggest fuck up, but if you're married and you got kids, people let it go for that. Like if you married and you got kids and you're keeping everything kind of sustained, you could be a piece of shit. You could be a guy who's late to everything. You could be whatever, but they'll go, he's trying. You know what I mean?
That's just Joey, you know. That's just Joey.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's the Italian excuse, you know. That's just Joey. What do you want? At least he's not beating you.
Yeah.
That's what my father used to say. My mother and father were divorced, but when he used to pick me up, he'd say to me, how's your sister? I get in the car, I go, how's your sister? I go, she's fine. He goes, how you doing? I go, fine. And then he'd refer to my mother, he'd go, and how's the douchebag? You know, that was his pet name for my mother.
Right.
But he would say to me, I don't know, I never hit her. I could have beat us. And I'm like,
wow.
You know, it's funny. My father, the same way, and he would say it to me about me. He'd be like, you know, I never hit you when you were a kid, but if I ever did, you wouldn't even be here. And I'd be like, am I supposed to be thankful?
Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of a psycho?
I know. For Father's Day, I'll get you a box of bullets, you know.
Exactly. I'm like, what kind of a psycho reminds their children that they could have beaten the shit out? I'm pretty sure you could have taken me. You're 250.
I'm 6.
I was 6 at the time. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't make soup, and you're bragging about being able to take me. Yeah. Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
I don't know, but I leave that to other people now. The relationship thing. I've done my thing. I've done my duty to God and country. I've procreated. I got nothing left inside of me.
We were having this discussion a little earlier on the previous. Not me, John.
Everything happened on the previous podcast. Was I on the previous podcast?
Well, we were plugging you. It was all about you.
We were actually plugging you.
I was there at 8:30. All you had to do was flip the goddamn switch, and I would have been there.
I did plug you, and when we started talking about that kind of stuff. What were you going to say, Tom?
John?
What were you going to say?
I'm sorry. What were you saying there?
Oh no, we were discussing like the your pronouns, like people's pronouns, because they were saying they did it. John did an event over the weekend where it was super fluid. So sorry, was one of the co-hosts, was saying she just uses they.
Sorry was her name?
Yeah,
Sorry Adams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
SAORI.
Yeah.
SAO. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Not sorry. Like sorry, like I'm sorry? That's how she pronounced it?
That's how she...
Yeah. It's pronounced like that?
Yeah, pronounced like that. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry or sorry. Sorry, I guess is how you would say it. But she says... No, but I hosted a Comic-Con fundraiser for the High School of Arts and Design in New York. Mm-hmm. And it was a 3-day event, and we were talking about the fluidity of like the pronoun thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
want a mint, by the way? Want a mint?
I would love a mint. Yes, thank you. Let me just grab one. Thank you.
Can't find it.
If I had one here,
that would have been great.
That would have been perfect.
Right out of the Ernie Kovacs songbook, right there. That would have
been. Oh, it's so great. But yeah, we were talking about the pronoun thing and whether it actually bothers, trans people if people aren't like legitimately like good at it or whatever, because we were talking about it in a grammatical sense, and I was saying that I always just do like the they them thing anyway. Like that's my vernacular normally, even before all this stuff started, even before people started getting angry. Like I just wonder what you think about, because now Instagram has done a thing where you can put your pronouns. They have a separate section where you can put your pronouns.
I know.
Do you care? Like, is it something that bothers you?
Me personally?
Right.
I don't
seeing it, not about anybody.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Right.
If my nuns were alive today, they would beat the hell out of some of these people for what they do to pronouns.
Yeah. It's insane.
But I'm of a mind. I guess maybe because I've been Julia for 21 years now.
Yeah.
And I prefer she. I'm
of course. She. But that makes perfect sense to me. It's the she like so let's put it this way. So I don't know about how you feel about dead names and stuff like that as well. Like you said, you've been Julia.
We just had this discussion on another podcast today. Believe it or not.
Did you? Really? Mm. Well, like so here's the thing. So like Elliot Page just posted a picture. Did you see it recently? Yeah, he's ripped.
I've seen what he's done. He's ripped.
Yeah. Like he had his shirt off, and I guess he's.
Oh no, I didn't see that. No.
Oh yeah. I'll give you a minute if you want to. Google away.
Did he reach out to Chaz Bono, because he could have used a sit up or two?
See, that's what I love about comedians, though, because there's no line. It doesn't matter, and you're just like.
Well,
like anybody else
I'm in that club, so I can. You
can. Yeah. But I'm 9 times. They're coming for you. Just a heads up.
Yeah.
But the thing was crazy because I was like, we were talking about how he was
Elliot.
He was Elliot was coming out of the pool, so shirtless, abs, and boobs gone, right? But we were like, and I was trying to say when he was, and I was trying to refer to Ellen Page. And I was like fumbling with it because I was like, am I allowed to say when he was a she, when she was Ellen Page? Because all I was trying to say was she was ripped, or he was ripped when he was Ellen. You know what I mean? Like he was always in really good shape. The only difference.
Oh, I didn't know that. I wasn't.
He was in. She was in X-Men, and then also my God, the Umbrella Academy. So, and he was in really good shape for that. But I was like doing that thing, and I'm like, is it offensive to say somebody was in shape when they were whoever? Because I was like, it's just consistency.
I think if you're not sure, then you should ask the question. If that makes you. Some people want the question. So the discussion we had today, and this was with another, another trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it, and I said, look, because she wanted to know, did I feel uncomfortable showing my old self in this movie? And is it the most comfortable place I've ever been? No.
Right.
But it is my life. It is.
Yes.
That was as much me as I am now. I am who I am because of every moment I've lived up until this one.
Right.
So how can I deny that I had another name at one point. You know my name now,
right?
If you call me Rick instead, and that frosts my pumpkin, and that was a big issue when I came back.
Was it?
Oh yeah, I had comics who just refused to let it go.
That's fucking shitty as shit.
That's
terrible.
It was shitty, and I finally said, "Listen, if you don't, I'm gonna clean your clock if you don't fucking use the right word."
Right.
I understand old friends who knew me as Rick for 20 or 30 years having trouble adjusting. I get that, and I will tell them. I said, "Look, don't worry about it. Just you're making the effort. That's all I ask."
Yeah.
But you could tell the difference in intent on some people. Like some people are doing it to be negative.
Yes.
And some people,
Yeah, because they'll say it like, "Hey, Rick, I made a mistake." They'll do it like that, and you'll go, "You
motherfucker!" Yeah,
if I had one of those Egyptian nasal hooks, I'd shove it right up your nose and pull your brain out through your nostrils. Yeah.
You know what? I didn't get to. I never saw too much of because I know your stand up more now than I ever did back then. The first time I ever got to see any of it was in some of the clips from the documentary. But I get the sense that your sense of humor didn't change all that much. Your material may not have changed all that. I mean, do you think there was a drastic change? Because
there was a change there was a change in the consciousness. There was a change in the sensitivity. There was also a maturity that just from the fact that I got older.
Sure.
But I'm right. I write now from a different perspective.
Okay.
So it's
well, of course. But I think even the essence and the timing of your jokes and stuff like that, it seems
the timing is pretty
the same.
Similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
The essence of the formula is not that much different than what I did before.
So do you feel like you were always who you were, even on stage as a because you said at one point, sorry, Tom, I'll get, but do you feel like you had said you were in the trailer that there was something that you felt like maybe you thought you were struggling with, but were you also struggling with it as a comic on stage at the time too, or do you feel like you were always okay?
I was struggling because thinking that I was gay from about the time I was 21 on. I had this sense of something was off,
right?
And I couldn't. I chalked it up to a lousy childhood, and that I was just damaged, and I was looking for something. I was looking for a father figure because my father left. And so I would, if I had a couple of experiments with men, and they always ended up with me throwing up. And I said, well, I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go.
Right.
If you're gay, you're not supposed to.
What if that's how you thought it was supposed to go when you're gay? You're like, God, I don't know how you guys do it.
I guess if this is the way you guys do it, I really don't want a part of it.
I'm really losing a lot of weight here. This is killing me. I can't even.
No, I'm bulimic on top of it. Just keep adding. You keep adding neuroses and psychosis to me.
That's great.
So I knew that, but I was carrying that on stage with me, and I led the secret of life. That I was deathly afraid of being discovered.
Yeah,
it was a terrible way to live. Terrible way to live.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's one of the things that I was wondering about because like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but the comedy mind I know, and the offstage mind, and then plus struggling with an identity on top of it. That's a fucking lot. That's I can't imagine the intensity of having to deal with all that.
Well, that's one of the joys I have now, because when I came back, and I talk about this in the movie, I had two criteria, and one was to be totally truthful, and the other was to be fearless. And
nice.
I've managed to do that, and once you do that, and you break through to the other side, and you're I had the mother of all coming out stories. I came out on national television.
That's just perfectly
in front of 13 million people. You can't run away from that. You're
Right.
out. I mean, you're out forever.
Right.
But there's a freedom that comes with that. You know, I could walk the streets. I walked out of Pasadena Civic Auditorium after that show onto the street, and the audience that was there, you know, they would stream out, and I'd bump into them as they were going back to their cars, and the reception I got from those people was just magnificent and wonderful. Wow. And I knew I had made the right choice, you know, at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
was it what was the choice like leading up to that when you were going on TV? Was it like did you know ahead of time that you were going to do it?
They left it up to me. They knew that I was, and they and there's a British exec producer named Nigel. I can't remember his last name, but he was bugging me. And he, you know, they had us in a holding area in the basement below the theater, and he'd come down, and he'd go, "Julia, are you going to tell them?" I go, "No, I'm not going to tell them." Nigel, he goes, "Oh, you should. They will love you for it." I go, "That's easy for you to say. I'm putting my career out on the line here. If I tell them and I go down the crapper, you know, I'm dead. I'm dead in the water." And we were backstage in the wings of this the theater just before I was just about to go on, and he said, "Are you going to do it?" I said, "I don't know, Nigel." And what happened was I got out in front of them, and if you saw the set, you see it was a pretty good set. Right? I was doing pretty well, so I kind of felt
it was a great set.
Thank you. And but you know, John, that when we perform, there's a whole team of people up in our brains that are working while we're talking. You know,
of course,
people think we're talking, but we're not. It's the executive board, and the executive and the executive board was going, "Well, should we say so? Should we do it?" And they were arguing. I don't think it's. Maybe we should. Well, you know. And we finally came to the decision that Nigel had been doing this for 11 years. He knew the show. He knew the audience, and I had to trust his opinion that they would accept what I was about to tell them. So I took a deep breath, and when Howie asked me why I had been gone for 10 years, I just blurted it out and waited. Wow. I just waited. I looked at Simon. He did one of these, you know, and the audience, you could see it. The audience just. On their feet. I thought they were coming after me with torches and pitchforks.
No, I mean I loved that whole moment. I saw that before I met you, and I remember I loved your set because you're fucking hilarious. I mean, you know, just you crushed that set. And then
in 90 seconds.
Yes, that's another thing. Getting that like. Between having the pressure of having to do that in 90 fucking seconds and getting that audience to like you and getting the judges to like you, you also decided, yeah, I'm going to come out.
Go big or go home, Johnny.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, it wound up being like a minute and a half because the laughs just ate up all my time. But they let me keep going. I thought they were going to buzz me because I was afraid it was going over. But
I love the boardroom setting that you gave a visual for people in the comedian's mind, because I'm imagining them arguing in that time span in the 90 seconds about whether or not you're going to come out, and like the unanimous just votes, and there's just one dude in that boardroom who opens the window and goes, "Fuck it," and then just jump.
Well, that was the other thing too. I dropped the F-bomb during the set. I thought that was a Nigel thing. Yeah. That was a Nigel thing. He said that he goes, "Are you going to say fuck?" I was like, "Are you going to say fuck, Julia?" I said, "No, Nigel, I'm not going to say that. I got an alternate line," which I did. I had an alternate line. He goes, No. You should say it. They will love it. They will love it. And again, I'm like, but if they don't, you know, it's sayonara, Julia, right?
Yeah.
And it was Nigel Lithgow, right? Was
that his name?
Yeah.
Nigel Lithgow? Okay.
Well, you sure it was just John Lithgow doing a British accent? How do you know it was even? How do you know he worked for the show?
He was a big, tall, string beanie guy. Nigel, he really turned out to be a nice guy.
John Lithgow. Tall, string beanie.
Yeah. So the board met while I was on stage. I was coming to that joke. Mm-hmm. They were arguing feverishly. You know, they were pulling pages out of the typewriter, like, you know, "Copy boy, take this down to the press. Stop the presses." and comedian says, fuck that. And so I got to the moment where I had to make the decision. And I, again, just took a deep breath and let it out. And the place went berserk.
Beautiful.
I came off stage and Nigel was standing there. And typical Brit, right? He's like, I told you. That's it.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Was that like your favorite? Do you have like a milestone moments for TV that you've done? Because you were with Regis, but that was before.
Oh, Regis, I pissed off. So that is not a milestone moment.
How did you piss him off?
That show I did when he was local.
Okay.
Before he went network, he was in ABC, and he co-hosted with Cindy Garvey, who was Steve Garvey's ex-wife, right? So I get booked on the show. I'm not supposed to do any material, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a promotion for Showtime because I had won Funniest Person in New Jersey contest.
Nice.
And so the Showtime at that point was an unknown network, as was HBO. They were all just starting. I know that sounds crazy that there was a time when that was the case, but we're talking about almost 35 years ago,
Right.
And they were also competition to the networks. So it wasn't a real smart move for me to go up there and plug Showtime. But they said, well, why don't you give Regis like a cup that says Showtime? I said, it would be a good idea. Why don't I get a whole bunch of stuff, like a clown car? We'll put in T-shirts and cups and and I'll just keep pulling them out and I'll hold them up to the camera. Showtime. Now the Showtime people knew better. They should have said to me,
right,
that's not bad taste, right? I didn't know any better. My first TV shot.
Sure.
And so Regis looks at me and he goes, what's in the bag? Now, remember, I wasn't supposed to do material. That's the key to the story.
Right.
I go, oh, what's in the bag? Well, look at here, Regis. Showtime. Is it Showtime? Now I'm looking at him, and instead of the big guffaws I'm expecting, I see him. I can see him, like razors, daggers coming out of his eyes.
Wow.
He's pissed, but he's smiling, like he's doing his fake Regis laugh. So we go to commercial, and he goes ape shit.
Really?
Yeah, at the Showtime people, yeah. And there was an audience there too. Yeah. So we come back from commercial. He just said, basically, what is this shit? What are you doing? What the fuck is it? That kind of thing.
Wow.
So we come back from commercial and he looks at me and he goes, Rick, why don't you show the people what, some of the material you did that got you to win the con. Now, I hadn't prepared anything.
Yeah.
This is like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And I'm like, and what am I going to do? I have to do something.
Yeah.
So I just went up there and I ate it.
Wow.
What a learned,
Rick.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Well,
that's
what are you
crazy.
going to do?
Were you of that ilk who was like constantly working on their 5 minutes to get on like the late night shows and stuff, or
I was only in it for like 2 years. I had no business being in the contest. I had no business being on Regis. I had no business being anywhere near a television studio at that point.
Wow. But I feel like back then a lot of people did come up very quick. Like you said, 2 years, but when you look at those guys,
more than 2 years, but it was more like 3 or 4. Yeah, but I mean, I had no business being there.
Wow. I feel like who was your class coming up? Like who were the guys that you hung out with all the time?
Oh, well, Eddie Murphy was one of them.
Nice.
A lot of the guys from Long Island. Well, Seinfeld too. He was. There's a very if you see comedians in cars getting coffee. He had on who was it that he had Seinfeld on? No, Seinfeld had. Who was it? Forget who it was. He had Eddie. Right?
Oh yeah, he had Eddie on. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he'd gotten this. Jackie Martley gave him this sheet of paper. Remember I told you about the Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
All right. Jackie Martley had a lineup sheet from that. It was a yellow piece of paper, and he actually showed it on the show.
Yeah.
And I think on the show it was me. I was at the top because I was the opener.
Wow.
Seinfeld, his name was spelled wrong. Eddie's name was spelled wrong. Because Jackie was the MC on the show. And so it was that kind of people. Mike Rowe was a friend, back then.
Yeah.
A lot. Rita Rudner and I were close friends back then.
I love Rita Rudner.
I'll tell you a Rita story.
Yeah.
Rita, and we all used to work when we were trying to get in the big clubs. We worked at a club. How long have I been on this thing?
This is you're a little over an hour, an hour and 11 minutes.
Oh, how long am I supposed to be on?
We usually do an hour, but I don't want to let you go. I haven't seen you in I don't know how long.
You bastard.
I know, this is going over. Hey, listen, Joey Cola did 3 hours. Somebody's got to top that. I'm not even 3 hours. I'm not even kidding. 3 hours.
Did you get to ask a question, or did he just...
I walked out of the room. I was like, I'm going to get... I made a sandwich.
I love that little bastard. I love Joey. I love him. I love it. Let me tell you Joey's story.
Please.
And the night my first AGT aired. Now you can see it's in the movie, actually. I'm sitting there with my kid, my son, and Kathy Caldwell. We're watching it on TV. And the phone rings, and who is it? Joey Cola. And he just couldn't, he was crying. I mean, he just,
wow.
I love him so much. He's like my kid. I watched him develop when he was a little Joey Cola when I first started, when he was opening for me out in Long Island.
Wow.
He's a sweetheart. He's a sweet man.
He's the best. And
he
really
had
is. A great, the 3 hours flew by the way. I didn't even realize we were on for that long. Like he just had story after story.
Is anybody watching this though, John?
Yeah,
we have a couple viewers.
Yeah, we have viewers. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many?
Oh, not enough. Not enough for you to ask that question and for me to answer honestly.
Well,
we're
so
on.
let me tell you the Rita story. Yeah, the Rita
please.
story. Yeah. So we all worked at this club on the East Side called Good Times. Which was the most inappropriately named club ever, because there was never a good time in this club, ever. There used to be, there was a club that had a big picture window behind the stage onto the street. You could see everything. And I'll give you a story from there. I used to go up and bomb night after night after night in this club. It was owned by a guy named Rico. That was his name.
Yeah,
anyway,
of course.
Yeah. So one night I'm on stage and everybody's laughing at everything I say, every single thing I say. I'm going, hey, maybe I'm having a breakthrough night. Look at this, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody, I don't know if it was Rita or somebody, pointed for me to turn around, and there was a homeless guy taking a whiz on the plate glass window.
Oh my God!
Full Monty. I mean, it's like, what do you,
That's hilarious.
And I just looked at him through the glass, and I said, "Oh, really? A dick joke? That's the best you can come up with?" So,
that's
and
amazing.
Then, and then there was Pips too, but that's a whole other story. But so Rita, we were pretty. Rita and I got pretty close, and then she got famous.
Yeah,
and I never heard from her again, which is what I plan to do with you, Johnny. This movie's a hit. You're never going to hear from me again. Don't even.
I know where you live. I know where your diner is too. I'll come. I'll get a job there just to see you. I'll start waiting tables.
We should have breakfast. We never eat breakfast together anymore. We live right near each other.
Yeah, we do. I would totally go out. Let's go out anytime. I'm around.
Well, call me.
I can't. I'm vax, so I can't kill you. So I would totally come out with you.
Yeah, no, I'm vaxxed too. I go.
Good.
Yeah. Not on and I'm waxed. I'm completely waxed.
I was thinking about it, but I'm going with a hairy look.
No, yes,
and so I'm just gonna stick with it.
No, you make it work for you.
I appreciate it.
You got that 1960s college radical hippie, bomber.
Thank you.
Look. Yeah, no, you got
beautiful.
It. You could have been in Forrest Gump. You could have been that guy.
I love that whole era. I mean, whenever I watch documentaries on the music and stuff from back then, I'm like, I missed out. That looked like a lot of fun.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, there was some really great stuff about it.
Yeah.
I caught the tail end of it because I'm more 70s that's when I hit my stride.
Were you a big concert person? Did you go out and go to the,
It wasn't. I didn't have a lot of money. I had to go to work early on.
Okay.
I mean, but I'll tell you this: our prom night after prom, was it after prom or after graduation? I think it was after prom. We went to the original Copacabana and we saw the Temptations.
Get the fuck
the
out.
actual fucking Temptations. And I swear to God, Johnny, it was a small club. And I was maybe 20 feet from them. That's how close we were. Oh my God! Just I'll never forget
incredible.
that. Yeah.
See, I love that kind of, because I like going to concert stuff now, but I feel like back then when you were seeing somebody like for the first time, you know what I mean? There's no TV, they weren't on TV constantly. They didn't have phones. They weren't blasting all over the place. So when you were there, you were fucking there.
Yeah, I mean, I got to work with when I started coming, I got to work with Mort Saul, who was an idol of mine. Yeah, when I was a kid coming up.
That's great.
That was
neat. Was it towards the end where he was starting to get kind of curmudgeonly, or was he still sharp as fuck when he was on stage?
He was. Well, this would have been. I guess this would have been late '80s, maybe.
Okay.
He was okay. I mean, he had kind of peaked at that point. He was past.
Right.
He's still performing. The last I heard up a couple of years ago at the Throckmorton Theater in San Francisco in Mill Valley.
But they said he snapped at one point, didn't he? Like in the maybe towards the end, just because I think it just gotten to him, or like the new, you know what I mean? Like doing reading the paper, doing the news, and doing his.
Well, I know he had some money issues, but the guy's 90-something years old. What do you expect from him? I mean,
yeah, that's true.
He's got a prostate the size of a grapefruit. Why would you? You wouldn't be in a good mood either if you had that problem.
Right.
I got a disclaimer. I don't know anything about Mort Saul's prostate. Oh, Jesus. Which is the name of my next album, by the way. Mort Saul's prostate.
I would love it if you did a song parody about his prostate just in the middle of the album. Like, what the fuck?
Mort Saul's prostate.
That's great. We don't have to go for 3 hours. If you don't want to break his record, you don't want to break his record. It's up to you.
No, but it's starting to feel like I'm on a Jerry Lewis telethon there.
You're not even kidding. Well, I'm going to ask you then the last question that I ask everybody, and it is, if knowing what you know now, if you had any piece of advice you could give yourself, your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
Don't worry about it. You are where you are. That's where you're supposed to be. And listen to that voice that quiet little voice in your heart. It's always right.
Very nice. That was very sweet. I love it. Simple. Beautiful. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing it. I'm glad you stayed up late. I know I kept you up way past your bedtime.
Now I got to stay up because MASH is coming on.
Yeah. I love. That's
Joanne. You can't be with Joanne without loving MASH.
I know. We love. That's the thing I fucking miss is going out with Joanne on the road and getting into a hotel room and racing to see which channel MASH is on, because we'll just text each other.
Every now and then I'll call her.
Mm-hmm.
I will when I'm watching it, and I will. She's amazing. I'll read the line out without telling her who it is, and she'll tell me exactly who it is and what the plot of the show is. She's so much better than I am about.
Wow.
Yeah, we go when we order Starbucks when we go out on the road, because that's our routine. We'll get Starbucks. She'll get her drink, I'll get mine or whatever, and we give she either gives Burns and I give Frank, or she gives Frank and I give Burns.
Oh, that's great. Has she been on this thing yet? Has she been on this thing?
She hasn't been on it yet, and I want to have her on. I wanted to have her on as a co-host because we love music and bands together.
You should have her on. Yeah,
I'm gonna have her on.
We've had 3 guests, but John calls her like while they're on the air. It's like, we should get Joe out here with us, and then she just.
I know. Get her on. Call her now. Yeah. Let's call her now. Can you get her on?
I'll call her right now and tell her to come.
Why didn't we think of this before?
I don't know. Well, I texted her, but she didn't answer, so I don't know where she is.
Oh, she might be in New York.
She might be in New York, but I'm going to call her right now.
All right.
And see if we can. I'm going to get her on the old speaker.
We had a couple of the MASH people on.
We did.
You did.
We had Mike Farrell and Loretta Swit.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have me? Was she on for that?
No, she could. I'd actually invited her on for that one, and she was at a gig.
Oh.
No, she couldn't get out of it.
She doesn't.
I don't remember what.
Did you ask Mike Farrell? That's all right. Hang up on her.
Hello.
Wait. Oh, shit.
Can you get her video? You can't FaceTime.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get her on video. Hey, where are you right now?
I'm at home. I'm watching well, actually, I'm waiting for Dre to get off the phone.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna send you a link. You got to pop onto this stream real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is,
it's me and Julia, and we want to see you.
Tell her I sent it already. It's over.
Oh, Tom just sent you the link on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
All right.
Let me go.
You're being summoned.
I'm being summoned.
Yes.
All right, I'll see what I can do. I will.
All right.
Give me a moment.
Okay, we'll give you a moment.
Okay.
All right, bye. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know why I took a headphone out of my ear.
I don't either. But did you ask Mike Farrell about his wife, how she's doing?
I did. So let me just. Can I tell you the weirdest thing about the Mike Farrell thing is?
Careful, John. We're on all of our shows.
No. I'm not. It's the night. Like he's He and his wife have been unbelievably nice to me. He came on twice.
We're talking about Shelley Fabre, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Shelley Fabre. And she is also incredibly nice. The second time she came on, she was just very complimentary, and we're like, "We just want to tell you we love you." She's doing good. She's fine. And
good.
You know, my mom told when she came back on the second time he came on, we did a Zoom one, and it wasn't.
Can we call
live.
him too?
I could call him.
No, that's all right.
He just sent me an email with a quote because you won't have to do this, don't worry. But no, just kidding. This is me putting you on the spot. But like a lot of the guests that we have on have sent testimonials in, like quotes about the show.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
I know. I'm not going to make it. Don't worry. I'll Carl Gottlieb you. It'll be fine. But he said a very nice thing. And then he emailed me back again, and because I was like, "Thank you so much for sending that in," and he was like, "Anytime, we love you, yada yada yada. Give me a call when you're in California." And I'm just like, "I absolutely will." Like they're so nice. So
can I go with you?
Yes, absolutely. If you want, dude, I would love to go out to California with you. Why? Let me ask you this. I'll cut this out of the interview, by the way, because I edit this, by the way, when it goes on.
I thought this was live.
This is live, but I mean, it's live. This doesn't stay. The YouTube stays and the Apple podcast, but I edit it down.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that way,
what, 15 minutes?
I edit it down so that my guests get canceled by the end of it. We're gonna have you doing your Adolf Hitler impersonation, saying pronouns don't matter, and something about Uncle Floyd that'll make that last show not possible.
Oh, Julius is not funny that way. So tell me about California. What do you want to do in California?
We should just go out. Here's what I don't understand. And listen, I understand that you're with Tom.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do shows together? None of us are getting famous doing these comedy clubs. Let's just fucking go. Me, you, Joanne, forget the booking stuff. Just go out and do shows. We'll open free. I'll tap dance. What do you want me to do? A little soft shoe in front of you?
Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that?
Because I'll tell you why. Well, I mean, look, there's definitely going to be shows that I want to keep headlining, doing that kind of stuff. But what I've learned after leading into the pandemic and everything happening is none of us are going to make it in a comedy club. I don't you know what I mean? Like if I'm doing a club in West Virginia, of course I love headlining and doing the long end of the thing. But at the end of the day, I love traveling with Joanne more and doing, having her open and being there whatever time she wants to do. It's not like anybody's in those clubs anymore. And they're going, this guy is going to be on this TV show. What's going to get me the work that I've gotten so far is shit like this, making moves with celebrities, writing for other people, and doing the Duppet thing and the Amazon Prime and pitching those shows and meetings with Henson. Comedy should just be fucking fun. And am I performing with my friends? And let's make some money.
Here's the thing, Ty. You're first of all, you're 30 years younger than me. Right, I'm close to death at this point.
No, you're not.
So I don't have a whole lot of time left.
Do you want me to dye my hair? I'll dye it gray.
Oh, is your hair gray?
Not
No,
really.
you haven't got a gray hair in your head. You fuck you. Anyway. But no, here's the thing. I'm doing more. I'm not doing clubs. I never hardly ever do clubs now.
I know. Yeah, you're doing a lot of the
theaters. I'm doing a lot of theaters actually, and I love the theaters.
Of course,
I love the theater,
and they love you.
Here we have all this other stuff going on with your what?
Yeah, wait. You were about to compliment me. Keep going.
Margaret. Oh, thank God! I've been on a day and a half already with these bastards.
Here's the thing: I told her
I
told her Joey Cola did 3 hours, so somebody has to beat Joey.
No. Oh, look at that picture.
Look at this. The pinnacle of show business.
How come my head is always bigger than everybody else's? Every picture. Like Johnny, you got a perfect head. JoJo, see? Where do you get all these pictures from?
Small.
Can you go back to that last picture? I don't know how we're the same height. Because we're not. You're taller than me by some.
Standing on the chair, we can see.
I was crouching.
Standing on a chair.
I was.
He's standing on her knees.
He's we're at the Alan Ladd exhibit. He's standing on the soapbox. Alan Ladd had to stand on.
Oh my God!
Did you know that Alan Ladd had to stand on a box to kiss his leading ladies because he was so tiny?
Jesus Christ.
That's a big thing in film. They're called apple boxes, and they're all different sizes that they make everybody level out. Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember they had apple boxes. Yeah.
Tom Cruise has got apple boxes stuck to his shoes. He just walks around with them.
Boy, JoJo, it's so good to see you, honey. I miss you so much.
I know, I miss you too. I wish I could see you more.
I see your pictures with your lovely wife, and you look so happy.
And that badass hat.
The badass hat.
Yes, I made her get a hat. Yes.
That was nice of you, though. Did you buy the hat?
Yes, I did. I bought the hat.
Did we pull you away from something? Did we pull you away from something?
We were watching. We were watching. What's it called? A movie. Army of the Dead.
Oh.
On Netflix.
Oh.
The one with Batista.
Dave Batista.
And Tig Notaro.
And Tig Notaro. Yeah.
I didn't even know that movie.
Oh my God!
I did a bunch of work on that movie. So if you look at all of all the casino tables and slot machines and all that type of stuff, we did all that, all the custom chips, tables.
Oh,
so when you see
awesome.
it, think of me. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you do? You build sets?
No, you know what? I work in the before times. I have a game room store that we sell like all gaming tables, and we do corporate events.
The one on 88?
No, I'm down in Red Bank actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so they came to us and we did that movie like a year before all of this went down. And then it's just coming out now. I'm excited about it. I haven't seen it yet. I was supposed to be watching that zombie movie with my wife as well.
All right. Well, I was watching Frasier. I'm going through the whole...
That's a different kind of zombie.
I know, but I'm going through the whole 9 seasons of it because it's such a great show. And then I'm going to do...
they thought Marist was a zombie. That was the whole subplot to Frasier that no one ever talked about.
Yeah, Marist was... who else? You never got to see Pickles. Well, you finally got to see Pickles in the Dick Van Dyke Show. But
yes.
And Alan Brady, in the first couple of times you saw him, you never saw his face.
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't tell it was
Carl Reiner. I know.
Oh, was I surprised?
I just finished... Shocker. I just finished watching that series.
I'm watching that too. I'm on season 3, I think. Again, this is like the 3rd time through.
So good.
What's the episode you're on?
The one I just watched was Laura lied on the life insurance form.
Oh, when the age, yeah.
Her age,
well, you asked about what I did. What we did during the COVID vacation. At one point, I spent 3 hours. Frame by frame, like the Zabruta film, going over Dick Van Dyke, tripping over the ottoman. I figured it out. Oh, and I know exactly how he did it now. And it's a thing of
he
beauty.
was shot. He was shot in the head. That's how he
was. And he just went back into the left. But it's a thing of beauty how he does it. It's amazing how he does it. He's so good at it.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that
Do
again.
you want to know how he does it?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Oh, it won't take long, but he comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not like this because he looks like a dinosaur, but I'm just no, but he comes in and as he begins to pretend to trip, his left hand, that's my left hand, that's my left, goes down onto the ottoman, right? And he slides it from the rear to the front of the ottoman. In the meantime, his right knee is now on the ottoman. He's moving forward, and his right hand goes to the floor, right? And now he doesn't flip. He tumbles at an angle to the left. So it actually does look like he's flipping over, but he's not. He's basically doing a somersault. And he lands on his, it's completely harmless. You couldn't get hurt in a million years if you did that. But it looks like it's just beautiful to watch.
If I try this and wind up in the hospital, I'm coming after you, Julia.
Well, I'll walk you through it. I'll walk you through it. Kids, don't try this at home. Dick Van Dyke is a 98-year-old man, and he could still do it.
That Kennedy Center honor stuff. I don't know if you saw any of it online, but I mean, he was dancing to "Wake Me Up Before You Go," and I was like,
is that right?
Yeah, he stood up at the table with a cane, and he was just like,
"How long? Is that a recent Kennedy one?"
Yeah, it's the new Kennedy Center honor one.
When was it on?
It wasn't on. It was his wife posted clips behind the scenes.
So it hasn't aired yet?
No, not yet.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen.
He's going to die.
Oh, yeah, you know he's going to die. Yeah.
My God. Oh,
you can't say it out loud.
I can't handle the thought of not having him around.
No, me neither. I haven't met him yet. I went to where he lives like a freak. Because the agent that when I was living out in LA, it was his like sister-in-law or something like that as a publicist and as a Dick Van Dyke's publicist, and I got to go on a meeting with her, and I was like, "Hey, do you know where Dick Van Dyke lives, or is he around here?" And she was just like, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and literally without missing a beat, she was like, "Yeah, he lives in Malibu. Actually, if you go into the town and get to the gate, sometimes they'll actually let you into that neighborhood." And I was like, "Yeah, and I make a right, and the guy's name's Sal, and I drove over there. But he was
putting on your black mask at the point at that point. Well, I gotta tell you though, I think pound for pound, Jerry was the funnier of the two.
Oh, Jerry Van
Dyke was the funnier of the two.
Van Dyke.
Yeah,
yes,
but
I agree.
Dick was the more versatile of the two. But I watched the outtakes of Coach. I watched. Did you ever see his mule train thing where he does the little stuffed mule?
Oh yeah,
he's just a funny man.
He is. He's naturally funny and very sharp and very quick. And Dick, I feel like, can deliver a line amazingly. Like if you give him material that's funny, he knocks it out of the park every time. But I think off the cuff, he's very
yeah.
Jerry's got funny bones. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now he's old. Coach. Now he's all funny bones because he's dead.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, if I was a real Italian, may he rest in peace.
So let's call Joey Cola up and bring him on this thing.
Let me get him on the most demanding guest. Doesn't want to stay for 3 hours, but fucking telling me to call people.
No, don't call him. I'm calling
him. It's too late. No, I'm just kidding.
If you call him, then call him.
Let me see. I'm gonna say.
I'll call him. All right.
Yeah, I'll call him. I'll call Mike Farrell. I'll call Loretta Swit. I got all their numbers. I'll call Art Alexicus.
Jojo, can you imagine if the hell with Cola? It's only 8 o'clock out there.
What if I just brought out a shell? It was like everybody starts popping. All the past guests. Oh, what?
Yeah, but the movie I'm watching, they'll all be zombies now. Just converge.
See, okay. I'm trying to make my head as big as your guys' heads. Poveromo's got a tiny head, though.
He does have a shiny head.
Well,
He does. He's got
the hair.
I don't know.
Like
He's
an
like
elf
a
on a
tick.
toothpick.
It's like a tick. He's like a tick head.
That's why I have to have all the hair. That way,
You're like a hairy tick. That's what you
It's
are.
like, yeah, well, it's like in nature when you're the smaller animal, you got to puff up so people don't mug me. I'm
You scare people with your hair.
yeah, exactly.
He's like
There's
one
a
of those little
comic strip
dogs.
for you, though. The hairy tick.
The hairy tick.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a great intro. You're coming to the stage, the hairy tick.
Spoon.
Spoon.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Oh, Jojo, when are you coming back down again?
Oh, I don't know. I want to. Oh, I got a cat coming. Go see ya.
Oh,
All
cat
right,
coming in.
There
We
was a
got
cat.
all the three of us.
Incoming.
Incoming.
Julie and I
He's
are gonna go
done.
get breakfast. You should come get breakfast with us.
Yeah.
When? Yeah.
Well, you
Julia,
have a long
when?
drive to get down here, though. That's the problem.
Well, we can also. I'll drive us. We can meet halfway in the middle.
Okay.
All right, good.
I mean, I can drive, Johnny. It's not like I can't.
You just told me you were.
Johnny, because once the sun goes down, I don't see so well anymore. Those lights get in my eyes, and I'm like, oh Jesus, I can't see anything, and I start driving like this a lot.
You just told me you were half alive, so I'm not trying to be respectful. Like I will drive you.
I will drive.
I didn't want you to waste
half-alive
gas.
body around.
Well, no, we can go here. We can meet halfway out. Yeah, I could do
Yeah,
it. Well,
right.
let's not tell these people what halfway is, because then they'll
No,
track
they don't
it
need
down.
to know.
Then they'll take out a map of Jersey and they'll do a radius around the fixed point.
Get one of those.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, these
things.
one of those things.
You
Yeah.
get the things.
I've been watching enough.
And then
Yeah.
just,
These people are smart,
and then they're gonna watch a movie, and then they're
That's
gonna start
right.
playing charades.
Sounds like.
I've been watching enough of these murder shows. I'm figuring anybody could find anybody at this point. Like I watched the Son of Sam thing the other night. I'm fucking. No. I live behind trees. I'm not enjoying any of that.
I'm watching the Rockford Files. He always gets it done.
Yeah, that's true. Rockford Files.
Yeah,
We were talking about going back out, Joanne. The three of us are gonna do shows together. Is what I'm pitching.
No,
Julia
I never
for.
said that. I never.
No,
said
I know,
that.
but I said it. You don't.
I know. You said it. And I was like,
No,
I
thank
don't
you.
want to. He wants to do shows. I'm like,
You don't
no.
want to do shows?
None of us are gonna make it. It's
Will
over.
you stop saying that?
Putting the Maloik right on you, Julia.
Oh my God!
But you've made it. You're done.
I'm not done.
Showtime and the documentary. You're gonna hit it. It's gonna be. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, if it's my gun, then that's great. Yeah, but
No.
it's not, the gun hasn't gone off yet.
Love Gun.
Love
by,
Gun.
Yeah, but you got it. It's there.
Kiss.
It's loaded. It's.
I figure I'm just famous enough to where it's not like nobody really knows my name. They know my face. They don't know what I do. I can walk around the streets. It's just it's the perfect level of celebrity.
Right.
I'm like a DFH list celebrity. I'm an H list celebrity.
I was like DHL. Like, are you getting delivered places? What are you?
No, I was for a while. I was on the D list because then right after AGT, because I had some visibility, and then I dropped down to the H list.
All right.
Well,
Yeah. When I was in the hospital, I was on the M list. I was an M list celebrity.
Right.
Yeah.
And what letter of the have
So
they
you're
invented
not
the
on
letter
there.
of the outfit for Joanne and I yet?
I can't. You have to decide that.
I'm on the DN. I'm on the DNR list.
The DNR list. You're a DNR celebrity.
Sad.
Oh my God! You guys got to start pitching your sitcom that you wrote together.
We should. We had. I have pitched it to a couple of people. We had. I wrote a play, JoJo. Did you know that?
You did? No.
Over the
Really?
COVID,
Awesome.
I wrote a play. Yeah, we did.
What's it? called? Do you have a name?
It's called
for
Love
it,
in
or is
Shades. It takes
Ooh.
place in 1969. It's a period
neat.
piece.
Wow.
I had my period for most of it.
Oh, that's excellent.
Me all weekend. No, but it is a period piece. It was one of those things I hadn't planned to do it, but I think about art script. Carol Montgomery talks about our script a lot that we should, and so does Susan. Yeah.
That's cool.
I wish we had a bad experience with it.
Yeah, really, it really sucked.
Well,
Yeah.
someday that's a whole other show, Johnny.
All right. Yeah, you have to tell me. All right. I see how it is. You save the good stuff, and you hint at it when Joanne comes on, and then the beginning is.
So we should all sing a song. What do you want to sing? The Carol Burnett Goodnight theme, or?
Oh, we could sing a song. Yeah. What? Batter on.
I don't know the words to that. Wait. We're the All American. What the fuck is it? Yeah. The All American Girls Soft.
Yes.
Yes.
Or the one that she just sings to Nelson. Which one?
Oh my God! What is she?
What does
she sing?
Hold on. Nelson. Hey, night, baby.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit! What did she say?
I know. I'm trying to think.
How about I love to go swimming with bow-legged women and swim.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was the one that Jimmy sang. The one that Jimmy sang. Jimmy sang that one, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Tom Hanks' character.
Tom Hanks. Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. Sang. What about show me the way to go home?
Go home.
I'm tired and
I want to go to bed.
I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it got right to my head.
Are we all singing at different times?
I'm trying to match it.
We're on delay.
Row,
Wherever.
Now you come in.
Row.
Now you. Row.
Oh shit!
Oh my God!
All right, well, Jojo, everybody, Johnny, everybody, I really gotta go. I gotta go.
We'll let Joanne go back.
No,
I
put
can't get in the
Poveromo's
thing.
head in there. Wait, put his head in there. Can you do that? Can you put his head in the shark's mouth?
Can you do it?
Oh, hold on. I got to move you, John. I got you.
All right. There we go.
Hey, lean down. Get over to the side.
The other way.
There
you go.
Yay!
Yeah.
Now spit out blood.
Spit out blood. Yeah. Well, his feet should be sticking out of the jaws, the mouth, to be honest.
And this is what happens when John knows how to control the buttons.
Yeah, I know. He gave me too much control. I'm like, click.
All right. Well,
good.
Hey, well, I gotta. What are you using for lights? You all look very good.
I gotta get you one of these. I'll give you the thing. It's the Neewer NEEWER LED ring. That's what you need.
The LED. I have an LED ring on my camera, which is
this
a little one.
This is 18 inches big. It's a big.
I had one of those, but all you saw, I looked like I had space eyes, like I was an alien on my glasses.
If you still have it, you put it up really high and you tilt it down so it doesn't get into your glasses for the camera angle. I'll help you with it if you want.
I don't have it. I sent it. I sold it.
I have another light.
On the black market.
Yeah, I did.
It's actually funny when the three of us actually hang out. I'll be making deliveries because I have a mic for Joanne that I wanted to give you, like an actual one that clips to your that you can. Yeah, and so and I'll give you an extra ring light that I have.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, can I get the mic too?
No. Listen, you got.
I guess I don't.
I figured as long as you give it away, I might as well ask. You don't ask, you don't get it. You know.
That's true. If I had another mic for you, I'd get you that one too.
No, that's all right. I have a regular stage mic, but can I use that? Do you think?
You need an adapter.
You need an adapter.
A Shure. Whatever.
SM58.
That's an SM58. That's what I have.
Yeah, you got to run that into something for an audio interface for the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Have
you tried turning it off and on again? I'm sorry, I just went into full blown.
That's hard. You can't do that. Hard.
Oh my God, fucking hysterical.
Well,
All right, cool.
it is. I missed most of MASH now. Look at this. God damn it.
Oh, damn it.
Joanne and I will
didn't know
redo it
MASH
for you.
was on.
What episode?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
How could you let him have Loretta Swit on and Mike without you being on that show? How could that be?
I wanted her to be. What did you have, a show that night?
No, I had a doctor. I had a doctor.
That's right, the fucking doctor. Yeah, that was a bummer.
The decent thing to do is to rebook it and let her know ahead of time.
Indeed.
Listen,
but you're
if
not
I
going to
wasn't
do that because you're a selfish bastard. That's why. Look at that! Look at that finger.
It's
See that
true.
finger?
I see. If I wasn't scared shitless that if given the time they would have canceled, realizing that I was nobody, I would have done it. But the fact that I thought I tricked them on here.
Did you ask Shelley Fabre about Carl Betts?
I did not. No. Would you like me to?
I would like. Yes.
Would you like an answer? All right. What do you want me to ask her?
Did she ever get the urge to just kick him in the balls for being such a pompous ass?
Oh, all right.
Such a sexist pig.
Yeah, I agree. I'll ask him. I'll ask her. I mean, and I'm sure.
Ask him.
No.
There's a song we could sing. Da 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 da. That's the
Mary
Donna
Hart,
Reed
right?
theme.
Oh, Donna Reed.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure that out.
My
ready?
wife just chimed in. She said that it had to be you was what Marla
it had to be you.
Oh yeah.
That's what
yeah.
she's saying. It had
to be you.
I'm singing a Nelson.
You.
Oh, that Marla. Oh my God, that scene was so. She was great. That girl. Yeah. And Stillwell Angel.
That's funny. She told a great story about that kid being. He was such a sweetheart apparently on the set. And he didn't want to hit the girls on the bus, and they had to like convince him. They're like, no, it's fine. Like, it's funny. You'll be able to. He's just like, no.
I'll tell you, the guy they got to play him as an adult was stunning.
Yes.
What a piece of casting that was.
Yeah. Really. That was a good casting. That's the dude that bullies Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, it wasn't. It was Penny Marshall.
And if you, I was going to say, if you look back, they're both Richie Byrne now.
Oh, poor Richie.
I know.
I'm doing Buddy's show Thursday. So
good. Good.
Yes.
I did Buddy's show. It was a lot of fun. I love Buddy too. Telling you, we could all be hanging out doing shit together, but nobody wants to.
That's all you want to do is hang out. You're like fucking Mickey Rooney. Hey, let's put on a show. We could be in my garage.
It's not even. I'm an old Muppet character brought to life. Like, we got to put on a show to save the theater.
Yeah. We'll rent the theater. We don't have any money. We don't need. We're Muppets. We don't need.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights.
Light the lights. What about Overture? Curtain lights. This is it.
Oh,
we'll hit the heights.
No more rehearsing
and nursing apart. We know every part by
heart.
Overture.
Curtain lights.
This
is it.
This is it.
The night.
And all the lights will hit.
On with the show.
This is it.
Yeah. All right. I really I am
I have to go.
I have to go too. Oh.
Props. All right, cool. All right, well, thanks for doing it, Julia. Joanne, sorry we dragged you out of the
Just no, you don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize to my wife, though.
I will.
It
was his fault, Joe. It was not my fault.
I know. I'm so glad I get to see you, though. It's so good to see you. It's been too long.
Mwah.
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 That's our new sign off.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's our new sign off. Just a lot of love, everybody.
Whoa.
Have a good night, everybody.
Whoa.
Your neighbors are like, what the fuck is going on over there? Is she sleeping with somebody? We thought she lived alone.
Wow. All right, I really do have to go because I got I took a water pill, and they really, when they kick in, boy, there's a puddle on the floor in my office right now from like the last 2 hours. Did we break Cola's record yet? Just out of curiosity.
No, you got.
No. We're at 1 hour and 50 minutes.
Son of a bitch!
If you want, I could just put that wah 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 on a loop, and we'll do it with the next 2 hours. Like she broke down. That's all she kept doing.
She lost it.
We don't know what happened.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna go. I love you all.
Love you too. See you soon.
Mwah.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Oh, what a show! What a show!
Great. That really
that was a lot of fun.
And then,
look, she can't get out of the room. I'm going to throw her back into the stream and freak her out. Get out of here!
Look, she can't even hear it. That's why I can't give you production. The ability to do it. She's trapped.
I can't. Julia's like, help. Look, she's talking. I can't hear. It's not plugged in.
She needs a new mic. Make sure you check out Julia Scotti, Funny That Way. It's coming out soon. That's a big thing. Make sure you check us out on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you could hear us podcast on Dystopia Tonight. You can watch previous episodes over on YouTube. John Poveromo. Just look for Dystopia Tonight. And we will see everybody tomorrow, I believe, right? We got some more great guests this week.
Oh, yeah. We got Jeff Cesario on tomorrow and somebody else the next day.
Sweet. Oh, my goodness. We'll see you
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Dystopia Tonight.